it's Mark and Cindy on the radio, 10 to 11 a.m. Well, it's Mark and Cindy, they've got a morning show. Every day I listen in. We're gonna talk about what's going on in town. You never know who's gonna come around.
Good morning, Montgomery County,
Woo-hoo!
Conroe, Willis, Dobbin, the Woodlands, and all surrounding areas.
Yes, exactly.
We're so happy to be here. It is Monday.
It's beautiful out there, Cindy.
It is
neat?
great. It is great. We had a pretty good weekend this weekend, except Friday, but the rest of the weekend was pretty good.
Okay, we're going to have to find out about this Friday. But by the way, Saturday, evening, the weather was, this front came in, and boy, I saw it over here in Conroe, and the sky was boiling and all. And Cindy just showed me a couple of photos she took from Willis of the sky, and then of the
ominous sky, and then the most amazing rainbow, a double rainbow. And I put that on it's on my Facebook as Cindy Robinson Cochran. And if you want to go to that, I like everybody, just like Mark does. Mark has absolutely no
except in my
no
dream
barometer.
last night. There were some people I did not like, but okay.
A dream.
Let's don't.
No, but it was very scary because the clouds were coming down like are we getting ready to have a tornado or what's going to happen? It was beautiful though at the same time. So if you want to see that picture, please go to my Facebook. And the rainbow wasn't there very long because by the time we were taking a lot of pictures of it, and the time I looked up again, like boom, it had just dissipated. But it happened right after we came home from seeing the movie Noah.
Wow, that's what you call your almost your ominous omens.
Art imitating life, or life imitating art, one of those. But I think it was God saying, "Look, you think that's something? Watch this.
Watch this one."
That's right.
Oh, by the way, before you Noah 8, we get into Noah. We've got a special guest who probably won't say anything today. It's little Cindy. I love her. She is a doll, and she's holding a doll right now.
That's right. She is. She said, "Do you think Mark will notice I cut my hair?" And he went, "No, that's right. He saw it at the show.
I liked it long, but I like it like this too."
Yeah,
she's just so cute. It doesn't matter what she does.
It's her summer cut. And
okay, yeah, kind of like the sheep.
My grandchildren, Samuel and Cindy, just love Mr. Mark.
Well,
they went and saw the
Mr.
Mark play.
Mr. Mark.
First, tell me about how the play went. Jessica Hunsinger, who was our guest on Thursday, commented on the Facebook saying that you were fantastic.
Well, the last night. No, it was the matinee on Sunday. It's at 2:00. And by the way, next week is the weekend is the last one. We'll have a Friday night, Saturday night, and a Sunday. But I had more fun with that one than the others. The audience, the others were good, but I was so worried. But from the get-go, the audience just kind of lifted you up a little bit. They were going along to where you get a sense, Cindy, that even if I screw up, I don't think these people are going to mind. They were so, with that in mind, I did not screw up, and everyone did so much better. I think the audience, not that they ever did bad, but it was a sense of, wow, this is good, and it's both sad and it's happy, and anyway,
and controversial.
It went controversial, and that's what many of them said when they came out. They, one lady just hugged me and said, you've given me something to think about, and I said, well, I'm not trying to convert anyone to this particular thing I'm acting here, but yes, thinking is good.
Right. Well, an audience really doesn't understand the power that they possess. They think the stars up on stage are so cool and wow. But the stars on stage have a lot riding on how the audience responds, and they become either a better actor or they go home and think about what did I do wrong? Why did I get in this business? Because nobody laughed or nobody cried or didn't have the response.
Friday night, Terry, and her last name has escaped me. She was in the audience, and I didn't even know it was her till it was after. But at the beginning, there's humorous things, and she started laughing, and the contagiousness of that. After that, it's kind of like the audience said, "Oh, it's okay to laugh here."
They had permission.
Yeah, they came in thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is a very controversial thing," and so she started laughing, and then people after that, oh, it was beautiful, and that's why you need to pay laughers, even if I
think you do
drag somebody's buns in there.
Those ringers are important inside that, and I've noticed that so much. I think I went to some maybe like 3 times the size of the Owen.
Mm-hmm.
But the audience had that same feeling when you walked in, and what the people were doing was hilarious. And I'm going like, I'm intimidated by the audience, not the actors or it's just because they're just making me feel like, that's funny. Why aren't y'all laughing? But I'm afraid to be the first one to laugh. Now, I got over that real quick, and I started applauding, and then people would start with you. You have to be the first one to lead it. That's who they need in plays, is someone that understands, here's the place where people want to applaud, need to applaud, and I'll start it, and they'll give them permission to do it. And so I agree. I think there needs to be some professional thing. I may sign up for that.
You need to. No, you'd be great at it, but you'd be great on the stage, Cindy, if you'd ever do it. By the way, Greater Tuna is coming in, I think it airs in July.
Right.
And I wanted to say this about that. That was one play. One play. There's been 4 of them: Greater Tuna, Tuna Christmas, Red, White, and Tuna. Anyway, some other things. But it was on at the Grand Hotel or something in Galveston. The theater they got there. That's really old. The Grand. It's not.
Right.
Forget the hotel thing. And it was so well known and all that the minute they showed up on stage and the first sentence out of the guy's mouth, people were laughing just because, now we know. They'd seen it and they know about it and they start laughing. If you're on stage and that happens, I've never been on stage where that happened, but that would be, oh my gosh, hey, we got them today.
Now, Mark, they had that reaction to you on the family friend night that I went to. When they said they saw you come out and they saw you, people started laughing, and they were so happy and clap. They knew you were out there. They knew who you were. So you guys have one more weekend, one more chance to go see this. And Richard's even going to go there and bring a date.
Oh my goodness, the pressure is on now.
It's really on, Mark.
That's right. He's built you up, and now you.
I'm excited. I got this ex-student I haven't seen in forever, and I think I mentioned it last time. Nicole Key, anyway, she's going to be there Sunday, and she lives in New York, I believe it is. But anyway, I'm anxious to see her again. It's been many years.
That's very cool, and we're going to get started, and then I think this will fall over into our next segment. But Friday, I went to go see Noah with a totally open mind.
Yeah.
So, Jill, you hear me? A totally open mind, Jill. I went to go see this because I read all the reviews. I read as much as I could about it, and even listened to the longest interview with Russell Crowe that they do on the movie set when they start promoting it. And I think I'd mentioned, that the director trying to get him to play this part last week, that he told him, I'm going to say the name of the movie, don't think anything until let me tell you these other 2 things. And one of the things he said, and I forgot, is that after he said the word Noah, he said, you're not going to wear sandals. You don't have to wear sandals. And that was a big deal. That was strange. But and then it was about the freedom. And this is not like the childhood story you heard. And so that was how he got him interested into reading the script and all. But what he said was, I had no idea any of these things had gone on back then. And you know what? I don't think God had either, because when I went to see this, it was different. It was so different, and the good out of it. I always want to try and find the good. The good is that you certainly do talk about it. It made everybody go home and read Genesis 6-9, and those that didn't know where this was, coming from, probably Googled. Google probably got a lot of entries into, tell me the story of Noah, and going back and rereading that. And I told everybody, I said, I don't want to ruin this for you, but I would suggest strongly read Genesis 6-9 and then go see it, and then that way you see what the biblical message was, and then when you watch this, you can go like, I don't know, what were they thinking?
What was it trying to be, just like the Bible?
Well, the way it was first presented, and I went back and looked at some of the trailers, some of the things that people said is that Noah, and never said anything about, we have taken literary license. They didn't say anything like that at first. Later on, after people started seeing it, and they were doing, they had ministers come and watch it and that kind of thing, they did some disclaiming, saying that there was some literary license. This is what we speculate. Things where the Bible hadn't spoken, we're thinking this is maybe how it happened and that. But we sat down there, and now Sam is not a big reader of Genesis, And so when the movie started and got into
He
it, in
likes
about
Jeremiah.
5
He
minutes,
just he just skipped to the New Testament,
Right,
basically.
skipped right
He's like,
up.
this is the Old Testament.
and he looked over and went, "What?" You know, the look on his face as he watched it. But I kept saying, okay, maybe this is symbolism. Maybe they're going to explain this, and this is going to, like why they did this. And as it rolled on, there were so many things that I could see why they think it's going to cause conversation. Is that when somebody has seen it that never read the story, doesn't know anything about it, maybe unchurched people would look at it and go like, "Oh, wow, that was really cool. That's what God did, and that's what it looked like, and that's what." So there are a lot of questions, and then you have to maybe discount some of the things. Yeah. But it is a movie that you probably need to go see, as long as you're not choosing between buying some hamburger meat and some groceries for the family and to go see
I
this.
see. Maybe not a priority, you're saying.
Yeah, but it's good to go see so that you can talk about it with people and see what they say. But reading Genesis first and would be good, and to talk to somebody who has some background in the translation of some of the words that were used in that story. Like one thing they got right was, there were several things that was like the story of Noah, but when Noah got drunk and he's laying there naked.
I wanted to understand that, yes.
Okay.
What happened there?
And so the two sons, they have a cloth and they walk backwards so they don't see their father's nakedness. That was extremely wrong and sinful. But the word nakedness has a lot of different meanings, and it's not saying just seeing someone naked. It's usually some kind of sexual act is the way that they would.
I would hope so, because the nakedness
that's what
alone
that doesn't get it. But anyway, when Noah found out that Ham, his son, was the one who saw him naked, he told his brothers, and the brothers were the one that put the blanket over him. He cursed Ham, and he was supposed to be the head of Canaan, and he said the Canaanites would be the servants to his other two brothers, and it really made him mad. It was, so they don't know what that nakedness meant in that context. I'm sorry.
No,
that word nakedness meant.
She's drawing nakedness out here.
Yeah, I'm not trying to draw. Oh, the YouTube
two
people are going to love that. They'll catch it. Okay, so anyway, but there were some outrageously incorrect things that made me mad, because you didn't need to be incorrect, because that story is large enough.
Yeah. But it is large enough, but I know we got to go to a break. But ladies and gentlemen, when you've got as little detail as you've got in the Bible, I'm going to make a book about Noah, okay? You have no conversation, you got nothing. And you got to make up stuff. And I haven't seen it, and apparently they made up some weird stuff, but I don't know.
Okay.
Back in just a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen, with the Mark and Cindy Show, and we'll see you in a bit, and we'll finish this up and
if you have a comment,
talk about a couple other things.
If you have a comment, call us at 936-647-3776. And you're listening to the Mark and Cindy Show. We'll be back.
Did you know there are over 800 abused children in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Susan, a volunteer with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. April is Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. Casa Child Advocates trains and supports volunteers to be the voice of children who have been removed from their home because of abuse or neglect. We need volunteers just like you to speak up for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com or call 936-441-5437.
Lone Star Internet Radio is now bringing you the weekly business hour show each Monday morning at 11 a.m. My name is Rick Schisler, and I will be your host. Each week we will be bringing you local, area, and national business news that you can use. The program will also feature an interview with a local or national business person who will share their own experiences, successes, and failures in operating their businesses. Our show is for anyone who already owns a business, whether they work solo or have employees, and for those who are thinking about starting their own businesses. A bit of information about myself. Again, my name is Rick Schisler, and I am a Silver Fox Advisor, who has over 40 years' experience as a serial entrepreneur. As a part of our show, I will offer some advice and encouragement on our monthly topic, and I will take your questions by email at rschistler@silverfox.org or call into the station at 936-647-3776. See you on the radio Monday at 11 a.m. for the weekly business hour.
If you stay for the night, so I'm coming. I don't wanna be lonely, baby, please tell me. I wanna love you all over.
All right, who's that?
Huey Lewis.
Again, Huey Lewis. Huey Lewis.
See,
I
we were
loved
talking
him.
about Huey Lewis in the news. We were talking about the Noah movie, and we'll continue in just with it. But I had just wanted to read just a line or two of reviews from the Rotten Tomatoes things. People who have phoned in. Here's one that says, Noah's climatic transformation from knife-wielding crazy to loving grandfather was obviously inspired by Ethan Edwards' change of heart in The Searchers. Who would have guessed? A biblical action disaster fantasy epic that is completely bonkers, endlessly entertaining, and actually religious in that inspiring way. Anyway, there are several. I wanted to read one or two more here. Despite its flamboyant and sometimes goofy fantasy trappings, Noah is firmly anchored by the fierce moral intensity of, Aaron Shashki's vision, whatever. It's a pretty good flood, somebody else writes in, and there are a lot of different ideas here.
Well, it was funny because I read this one review, and they did talk about how many things they feel like he took from to come up with different, aspects of it, because they portrayed Noah as that he was crazy, that he had gone crazy, that he had taken on this idea of destroying all human life, that all human life was going to be destroyed, even his family. They were just going to get the animals who were innocent that were on the boat to where they're supposed to go, and then they were all going to be killed, and that all human beings would die out with that, with his family. And it didn't have but one brother having a wife that went on there, and that Noah was the cause of Ham's girlfriend not to make it on the boat, and so
Oh my goodness!
so and he killed two twins. I am okay.
Okay.
I am regurgitating.
Yes.
Regurgitating too much. Okay. So anyway, but they portrayed him in such a horrific way that you think, why would God choose this guy? And the reason He chose him was because he had favor with God, and that it took him 100 and something years to build it. It wasn't like it was
50 years.
Yeah.
What? Good grief!
So it didn't. It's
Did
not
they
like
show
it was
that?
a prize.
Did he have a saw or anything like that?
You should now see. That's what I was interested in, how, because it seemed like they were going to portray that as realistic as they could, and they did. They used not a saw, but they had God had trees grow up around it. All of a sudden these trees grew up around him, and they
okay.
used these trees to the gopher wood to make this happen.
Did they call it
anything
gopher wood or?
They never said the word gopher
Yeah.
wood.
Well, nobody really knows exactly what it was, gopher wood, because there's my understanding there's nothing to that effect today, unless somebody named it afterwards, saying, "I bet this was gopher wood." But,
Yeah, right.
But
right,
you know,
right,
and yes, there are specifics about here's the size, but with respect to how you do this thing, other than pitch it within and without and all with I guess pine tar or whatever. The building of it itself, I cannot imagine how you could do something like that
Well,
back then with 3 sons.
I can't
Oh, my
wait for you
word.
to see how this guy came up
Okay.
with how it happened.
All
Because I'm not
right.
gonna tell you about that. So-
Cindy, I wanted to ask you this: Did
Yeah.
you at any time did you think, "Oh, I'm going to walk out of here"?
oh no.
That's what I mean. I was reading in the paper where we and also on Facebook we walked out of there, and my thought is, why? I mean, seeing it, yes, I could definitely understand where there's license taken there. You're going to make up a story, you want it to attract people, but I don't understand the thing about the wives. I mean, that if you're going in any way biblically, there's 3 ladies, other than Noah and all, but before I would walk out, I would ask myself this: is there something in this movie that's going to make me less of a follower of Christ as a Christian? And I'm
No.
thinking, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, wow, why?
I don't get, and it's the same thing with my parents. They talk about this movie. And I even tell them, I go, call me before we go see a movie because I'll tell you what's going to happen. Because they always end up going seeing like Bridesmaids or something that has really crude humor, and they don't like that stuff. But then of course they really do like it. They just don't want to admit it. But when they told me they're seeing Noah, when they told me they're going to see Noah, I'm like, you know who Darren Aronofsky is, right? And they're like, oh, well, kind of. I'm like, you're not going to like this movie. I'm going to already tell you, like, if it's about Noah, it's not about Noah. It's about something completely different, and it's crazy, and it's going to be, I'll probably like it because I like crazy. But, like, his track record is these awesome movies that are really powerful movies. And they're not typical. They're not supposed to be, like, the what's expected kind of movie. So, I mean, if you ever have a chance to see, probably the best drug movie is Requiem for a Dream. Because it's about drug abuse, and it's horrible. Like, it is one of the most crude looks at drug abuse. And
he did that.
That was one of his first movies. He also made another movie called Pi.
He did Black Swan.
And he did one of my favorite movies called The Fountain, which is a really cool spiritual movie about Hugh Jackman being in love. So,
but it was.
But when you go see this movie expecting to be a biblical movie, no.
Yeah. Well,
no.
It was funny because the first time I see Noah and the people and what. The narrator's talking about how the sons of Cain built up all these really like bad factories and things that were hurting the earth and creating smog and all this stuff. And then you see them with look like Mad Max type of clothes on and slickers when they start. It was so bizarre. So I see why he said, and you're not going to wear sandals. Don't worry about wearing sandals.
I see what you mean.
So there's an element to it that is just like, what were you thinking? And then the other is it makes you think that you go like that. Now I got to remember the story as the Bible tells it because you heard it in Sunday school, and Sunday school has a lot of trappings as well that's not really there. So an atheist or Sunday school teacher, you have to, you guys both are not giving all the true story. And a lot of Noah, they can't tell it because it's pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
And for them, when you have to say, all these people died, and in my mind, when I got older, I'm thinking people are screaming and clawing at the, and all that. And
babies too.
And babies too. Everybody was going. They were taking everyone. And it's like, how could he do that? He said, and he was so specific. He was so angry with himself that he created this. It's like, I made it, I can break it kind of thing is what you start feeling, is that I'm so disgusted with mankind because every inclination of his heart is evil. So God was confessing a sin or not sin, but he was confessing this wrong that had been done, and it was his fault, and he was going to right this. And a lot of that is very interesting about the personality of God, how God dealt with it, and we better act right. But he gave people plenty of time to come around.
The whole question of that in the story itself is somewhat of a paradox, I believe. Here's God upset about something. He's all-knowing. He's omniscient. It's like, I didn't know this was going to happen. I don't, that whole thing is a bit hard to understand for me. And when Moses is around, I'm going to destroy all of them. Well, he didn't know this was going to happen. And I know people say, well, I'll tell you what, he chose not to know. I don't know. And that's I don't know.
But the free will thing is very interesting to me. It's like,
but he knows what I'm assuming my will is going to be. And,
that's right. And his plan is there. If you decide to get in the path and work on his plan, then you got it. But if you don't, you're outside of that is what is difficult. But I think that it's a lot like, Noah is trying to and tell the people what's going on, but and it calls him a preacher later on. They call him, he was that he was preaching righteousness and trying to get them to turn, and that the sons of Cain and he was of Abel. It was interesting, the history part of it that he was taking on. But I still believe that giving us a chance to come around, and it's like when he came and he was going to destroy the city in Sodom and Gomorrah, and they were saying, if I can find 8 people, would you not destroy it? And then it was like 5 people, 4, 3. What about if I can find just one person that's really good? Will you not destroy the? It's interesting that he does try and give us a chance, but he gets so mad after all he's given us, and then we then we do the things that we do and turn on him. So but it was offensive in the way that the literary license he took was so far beyond what our understanding of what the story is. That's what I think, upset a lot of people. But if you go in and say it's only a movie, it's only a movie, it's only a movie, you might be able to get through.
Okay,
with it.
Here's what we did. Kay and I, we went to see the Grand Budapest Hotel instead
that
of
was
the whole
interesting.
Noah thing.
I bet that was interesting.
The reviews were really good, like the tomato thing, whatever.
It was good. I mean,
it got 5 stars, and I saw Moonrise
Kingdom.
Kingdom,
Moonrise
very good.
Kingdom.
Oh, I loved it. And this same guy, Wes Anderson or
Wes
something?
Anderson.
Wes Anderson did it, and I went in there, and I had so many actors that that are famous, and
Right.
they just have little small parts. And I went in there, and it's one of those where I want to laugh so much, and at the beginning, I laugh, and I say it's getting ready to get real funny, and then it was just weird, bizarre, and it had a cute story, but I
I
was
thought you
so
were going to say you
disappointed.
loved it.
No. When it was over, I just looked at Kay and said, that could have been so good. And the way I rate it is this in most movies is like the Moonrise Kingdom. I've watched it 3 times because it's just good. And this one, I don't want to see it again. I mean, I see where it went. I see what's happening, but no, thank you. But, but it wasn't the epic that Noah was, apparently. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Well, along with I want to make sure I make this clear. I think people should go see it. If you can go see it, and
see
understand
that.
what people are talking about.
Yeah.
And I didn't criticize or do anything until I saw it. So I
Right.
want to.
Oh, yeah. And
waited
here I
till
am
then.
making my judgments. I haven't seen it. I don't know. But,
Yeah, once you see it, then I can't wait for us to have a conversation
Yeah.
about that. But I did have people on our Facebook comment on it. One person said that they got up and left, and that it was just laughable. That was how they felt. But another person, they would get off of Noah and say, "Have you seen God Is Not Dead?" And I asked people to tell me, and Clint said it was really good.
Let's
so
follow
that's
up
good.
on that in just a minute, and I'm going to tell us a little bit about some of the movies that are coming out
Yay.
soon. Thank you
Okay.
so much for listening. Keep listening, ladies and gentlemen, and Facebook us. Call us later.
It's something you only know if you believe it. Take my hand and I'll take your heart. Come on.
The Conroe Art League is a nonprofit entity promoting the visual arts in Montgomery County. They've evolved over the last 49 years into one of the premier artist groups in the greater Houston area. The Conroe Art League is now permanently housed in the 100-year-old recently remodeled Madeley building in historic downtown Conroe. Exhibits of local artists, sculptors, and painters are changed periodically in the downstairs gallery with admission free to the public. Art classes and demonstrations in a variety of media are provided in the upstairs studios. The mission of the Conroe Art League is to encourage artistic development and cultivate an appreciation of the visual arts through education, exhibitions, and community outreach. For more information, call area code 936-756-9572 or visit their website at www.conroeartleague.com.
I'm Lauren Maddox for Lone Star College System. Discover all that Lone Star College Montgomery offers at Maverick Mania Open House, coming to Lone Star College Montgomery on Tuesday, April 1st from 4:30 to 7 p.m. Take a campus tour, visit with representatives from every academic program, and get your admissions and financial aid questions answered. There will even be information on the academic and workforce programs offered at Lone Star College Conroe Center. Those who pre-register online and then attend the event will be eligible for a prize drawing for free tuition for the fall semester. So plan now to attend Maverick Mania at Lone Star College Montgomery on Tuesday, April 1st. All the details are online at lonestar.edu/openhouse-Montgomery. I'm Lauren Maddox for Lone Star College System.
Hello, I'm Bonita DeRosa, Animal Control Officer for the City of Willis. We invite you to tune in to Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. for the Willis Hour. On the first Thursday of the month, the Willis Hour will be covering upcoming events and news about the city. Join in the conversation with your city officials and other leaders in the community. On the third, we will be doing a recap of the last City Council meeting. The mission of the City of Willis is to provide high-quality services, accountability, and professional commitment to our citizens. We pledge to provide those who live, work, and visit our city an effective government that is open and responsive to the needs and values of the community. Again, we invite you to tune in on Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 for the Willis Hour.
So I'm letting you in, my woman. I don't wanna be lonely, baby. Please tell me.
And we're back. You're listening to the Mark and Cindy Show on Lone Star Internet Radio. We broadcast live from downtown Conroe. All those O's in that. That's so poetic.
It is so neat.
And
Cindy,
it's Monday.
I just got a notice here. We're supposed to have a public address announcement, because all shows are for whatever law, and I just wanted to mention that 43 million people in the U.S. attempt do-it-yourself projects every year. 43 million. 1 out of 5, that's 9 million, hurt themselves. People, please be careful out there when you're doing these jobs. Electricity hurts. Don't stick your tongue in something to see if, in fact, it is charged, because stuff has happened.
The following is a public announcement.
Were you? If this were a
Does
real
not-
accident, you would be in the bathtub really hurting.
And this station does not necessarily believe that. Okay.
By the way, here's some movies opening, Cindy.
What?
Rio 2, pretty soon.
Woohoo!
And the Rio
Cindy.
1, I didn't even see.
Rio 2 is opening. We listen to that soundtrack every morning going to school.
Man. And I told you
Rio.
earlier, I saw the video, and little Cindy did too, of Frozen. And what's that song?
Let It Go.
Let It Go. The girl that does it, I think, was on Singing with Great People show, whatever it was. But anyway, she's beautiful, and they did everything good. Also,
Great People
Oculus.
I think you just make up stuff.
I make up stuff.
No,
I don't know.
he's
to
right.
get out of a
was on
subject.
stage.
He's like,
Well,
yeah,
man,
that's
that's
great.
from acting, being on stage
That's
and
right.
not knowing your line.
That's
You know,
right.
yeah.
And now you're on the great
Oculus,
stage.
that sounds like a scary show to me.
It does. Oculus.
Trend,
Go ahead.
that's coming up next pretty quick. Transcendence.
Transcendence. I saw the trailer for that.
I've seen the
That
trailer.
looks
It looks. Wait a minute. That's
interesting.
with Brad Pitt, isn't it? Not Brad Pitt. The other guy that's weird. Brad Pitt's not weird. Please don't call him. Brad Pitt's
Yes.
not weird. It's,
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Depp.
Let's face it. He's weird, isn't he?
He is weird.
He's a good
We
guy.
were sitting there on the switch hour, and she was going over a list of like top 30 things not to wear after the age of 30. And at the end of the list, I go, "Isn't this pretty much talk about Johnny Depp? Like what?"
People are saying at the
Grow
theater. They're
up,
saying that of me
Johnny.
now.
He just
Don't
got
wear what he-
engaged, so maybe after he gets married and has some babies, he'll.
Haunted House 2, May 2nd, ladies and gentlemen, Spider-Man. They're calling it Spider-Man 2 because it's the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I mean, this is the fourth Spider-Man, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're
What'd you say
neighbors.
about Haunted House?
Haunted House 2. Is,
The animated thing from Spielberg?
was it? I don't know if
There
it's
was
animated.
an animated Haunted
Oh,
House
cool.
thing that was great.
Oh, man, in the movie that you cannot... The movie we must not talk about, Godzilla. Cindy doesn't like the name, and I can understand
Let's
it.
call it
It's taking God's
Monsterzilla.
name in vain with Godzilla, and I can
That's
understand
right.
it.
Mommy, I won't say it.
Monsterzilla.
Monsterzilla.
You know, we used to... this doesn't matter. We'll forget that for now. Amazing. X-Men is coming out in May.
Right.
Maleficent. See, I wrote
Maleficent.
Maleficent. I wrote it
So I
down,
guess- wait.
and I didn't spell it right. And
The Snow White.
Oh,
Is it the
that's
Snow White
exactly
thing?
what it is. Yes,
The witch.
Maleficent. What is it?
Maleficent.
Little
She says
Cindy.
Maleficent.
How old
Wow,
is
guys.
she?
Maleficent.
Cindy, how old are you? Little- 7. She's 7.
We're going to be
She has
replacing Mark on the Mark
You
and
have
Cindy
to
show
tell
tomorrow
Mark
with the Cindy and Little Cindy show.
pronounce these things.
The mini Cindy.
Edge of Tomorrow, The Fault in Our Stars. We've got a telephone call. Oh, I hope it's nice and it's not a mean call, but
Okay.
you got to do what you have to do. Cindy, why don't you answer it? Since
Hi, caller. What is your name and what are you calling about today?
Hi, this is Christy, and I'm actually calling. regarding the Noah show that y'all were talking about earlier.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Okay. All right. Let us have it.
Let's have it, Christy.
What do
We
you
need to
think?
No, this will be balanced with good and bad.
Okay.
I went to see the Noah show or the Noah movie this weekend with my parents, and actually I was excited to see what they were going to do with the cool story that I grew up, seeing on felt boards in Sunday school. So I was excited to see what they were going to do with the show.
Yes.
And when I sat down and had my popcorn and it started, I was like, I can't wait. And it started, and I had the feeling, like I know y'all were talking about earlier, I did have the slight feeling of wanting to get up because some of it was so bizarre, as y'all talked about before, that I was like, well, this is almost like blasphemous, to do something like this. But I calmed down and decided that I would, sit through it because visually it was really cool to watch.
Yeah.
And also to wrap your mind around the stories that you were told when you were a kid, to be able to see it played out on film, to say, man, that's really maybe close to what had happened, to see it in that, perspective and that magnitude. And so I really thought that it was a beautiful visually.
Oh, yeah.
But some of the stuff that they threw in there to try to keep the moviegoer enthralled in it was just for someone who goes to church, who's God-fearing or whatever, it's just like, oh, wow, I can't believe they're doing this. Well, when we walked out of the theater, we sat in the lobby for probably 10 minutes talking about the film.
Whoa.
The ridiculousness and stuff that we thought was going on. And I stopped and I said, for whatever it's worth, God's probably smiling because we've had a conversation about this film for 10 minutes now, and we've been talking nothing about the Bible and about him. And so he's probably smiling on that. And that, if anything, the viewer that goes to see this show that is unchurched sees it and says, wow, if this is what really went on, I'm going to go pick up the Bible and read more. And so maybe they'll be drawn to his word and all that kind of stuff. And I've seen things on Facebook and celebrating the fact that, there are many ways that Christians are drawn to, or that people are drawn to Christ. And so we can't count this as not being one of those. So,
Christy, let me ask you this. Is if a non-Christian churchgoer, someone that knew nothing, do you think going in there it would hurt them in any way?
I don't think it would hurt them because I think there was a lot of things that I knew that happened in there that I was like waiting to see that they did come through with. Some of the parts of the stories that we heard. No, I don't think that.
I tell you, you didn't date yourself, but when you said the felt boards, flannel board, I went right back to Sunday school. And folks, if you missed out on that experience, you have missed out on a lot. In school,
that was my favorite part.
I know, because everything else was so bland. That used to be the film strip. You'd watch a film strip in school and all, and you thought that was the worst. But you get a flannel board, and you're sitting there as a kid. Please put something else up. Please put, I see the palm tree. Now I want to see.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, you know what's coming. You can anticipate what's coming next because it took so long. And then when they would fall off, it was aggravating.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to call and comment on that. And I love the show, and I'm glad y'all are talking about things like this that are relevant that we can call and talk about, because I had to get it off my chest somehow. Facebook sometimes doesn't do that for you, I need a little bit of therapy about it.
Well,
we're glad the Mark and Cindy show could be here
Don't
for you.
get me started. You don't need therapy from me. But yes, it was so great, Christy, you calling. Thank you, young lady. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
That's
All right, bye.
You know what's weird about the entire topic, and this is controversial as all get out, but if you go back to some of the interpretations they've got from the Aztecs and from also the Incas, they have a story of a giant flood. And by the way, one of the, I don't know the dates, predates, whatever, but there is the story going around. And one of the causes of the downfall of the Aztecs was the thought, not the thought, but they had a writing that a white god was going to show up and going to lead them somewhere. So when Cortez shows up. Cortez, I think it was him. Anyway, shows up. Their thought is, wow, maybe he's the god. So there was a period of time when they're thinking, is this guy him. And so that prophecy actually led to something, and people say, well, that sounds like Jesus Christ. Well, that civilization had a prophecy of someone showing up too. So there's throughout history so many different stories that have circulated, and people's faith has been based on many, but of all the stories I've heard and read about, the one that points the most to and the one that can be backed up mostly by other historians is the story of Christ, and that's where my faith lies. Anyway, and
Right.
Cindy, and we will have an encouraging word in just a few minutes. And Cindy, we got so many other things.
There's so many things going on today, and we do have to say, yay! It's National Crayon Day.
Oh my word!
1903, the first crayons were sold. Back in 1903, and now imagine for a nickel. And now they cost so much
They
money,
do.
and we have so many more colors than we
Oh
thought
man,
there were.
I never got the big box that you open
You
up.
never did?
No.
Oh, Mark.
Kay wanted one of those all
The
her life.
smell of the crayons is everything.
And the taste of paste. Oh, you
The
can't
taste
get
of
past it.
paste, and why they haven't made a perfume called Crayon, I don't know.
Mark and Cindy back in just a couple of minutes. I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Joyce with the Corner Pub in downtown Conroe. We're located at the corner of Simonton and North Main, just across the street from the courthouse. The week starts off Monday with open mic hosted by Alan, and Tuesday nights open mic hosted by Jeremy Bankhead. And on Thursday evening, McFarland Jams. There's nightly drink specials available every night, all night. And don't forget, live entertainment every weekend. To see a full list of events, visit our website at thecornerpubinconroe.com. So come join us at the Corner Pub, where the deli is open late.
Income tax time is here. If you earned less than $52,000 in 2013, Montgomery County United Way and Entergy, Texas want you to know how to get your taxes prepared absolutely free. Beginning February 1st, the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, known as VITA, will provide professionally trained volunteers to prepare your return in a way that is safe, free, and confidential. And they will help you see if you qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit. That could mean up to $6,000 in your pocket and in our community. Montgomery County United Way improves lives of all our residents by mobilizing the caring power of our community. We want all our neighbors to have the opportunity to live healthy lifestyles, have access to education, and to improve your financial independence. This tax season, don't pay hundreds of dollars to have your taxes done. Locate a VITA site in Montgomery County by logging on to mcuw.org, or find a site near where you live or work by calling 211. And please remember, give, advocate, and volunteer. Together, that is how we improve lives and live united.
Do you ever wonder what's going on in the business community? Are you looking for ways to get plugged in? Cassandra Roshan here, Director of Membership Development with the Greater Conroe, Lake Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce, and I would like to invite you to tune in to Chamber Chat. Tune in the first Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. so you will be in the know for all Chamber happenings for the month. Each month, the Chamber offers 2 free lunch and learn sessions, a networking breakfast, business after hours, membership luncheon, as well as many other special events throughout the year. I will give you a rundown of all programs and events for the month, as well as interview our speakers and hosts of these events. So grab a cup of coffee and tune in to Chamber Chat the first Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. Chat with you then.
And we're back. Oh, I'm
we
sorry.
are back. No, I was.
Excuse
I was
me.
looking at that. Any minute
that
now,
droid
Cindy will say something.
The droid didn't go. I turned it off. Oh, you heard the droid?
Oh, Cindy, while y'all
Sorry,
are droiding
droid.
it, let me
Okay.
mention that tomorrow morning, Don Hampton is going to be here, and He is a director, a super director. He is directing, among other things right now, the play Inherit the Wind. He's an actor. He's just a very talented individual in the arts and all. Anyway,
wait to
we're
talk to
honored
him.
have him here, and that'll be tomorrow, Don Hampton.
We'll just keep getting more and more opinions of everything that's going on right now, and from his artistic view, and especially about you, and how you're doing in the play, and how he
directors
handles
can't
you in the
tell
play.
during a play. He'll tell you afterwards, but during it, either if it's bad, it's not
we'll
good
send
for
you
you. If
outside.
it's good,
I
it's
think
not
that'll
good for you.
No,
So it doesn't matter.
no, you know he's going to be great about you, and
I'd be shocked if he was anything but gracious. He is a gracious man.
Another thing we want to remind you about is that we always talk about Conroe Coffee. We talk to you about Leo and how great the food is over there, how great the coffee is over there, and the atmosphere is what everybody just goes bonkers over because it's so cool looking in there. But now this is strange. I picked this up, and on Saturday, it's Rev Day. They're having Rev Day. Get revved up and join this Saturday, April 5th, from 7 to 9, Conroe Coffee. All right, now this is maybe an English thing, I don't know, but it says bring your wang doodles and your wang bangers to join in the Rev Drum Circle finale.
I wouldn't be caught dead without my wang doodle.
I may have to go over and get that totally defined, but it seems like it is. No, she said it's, like the tambourine, drums, anything you want to beat on while this is going to happen. This rev it up. So they're going to get revved up over there. And if you want to join in, it's on Main Street, right 4 doors down from the Crichton Theater. And we are at 208 North Main. Okay. So I don't know what she would be. She's just right next door to us. So
might be an 04, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
so
I will say this, whether you come or not, you need to try to get a copy of the little leaflet they've got because the artwork is just wonderful.
206.
206.
206
and,
there.
Dick was saying
Conroe
that
Coffee.
Shane, her son, did the artwork or whatever.
No, the brother of the artist, of the musician.
The brother of the
That's right.
musician who's going to be here, did it?
That was
I was
close,
so
Mark.
close.
Yeah, they're having live entertainment,
Oh,
so
man,
be sure and show
he was
up
very
Saturday.
good.
And just to mention that after, okay, these two old ladies, the two old elder, my age ladies came by, walked by, and they looked at the banner, and one of them just, flipped their hand like, I don't know what they were upset about. How the banner upset them.
They saw Noah, and they
so anyway, be sure and stay with us because stay on the station. Because the weekly business hour is coming up with Rick Shishler, and Sergio is going to be on. Sergio's landscaping is going to be on after this. So be sure and stay tuned.
Yeah. I need to try to get a good deal from Sergio on a walkway or something. I may talk to him. By the way, before we leave, we do have an encouraging word. And this morning when I was reading, there was one that was very helpful, but then I thought, well, it's Monday. It's helpful for me. It may not be for anyone else. And it's kind of a downer. And I wanted to encourage you more. And what I was thinking about, I was reading this from Julie Ackerman Link. I would not know her once again from a lineup, but which she was in the little devotional Our Daily Bread, which I keep plugging that I wish you would get if you haven't already. Go online, Our Daily Bread. Anyway, this I was reading this, and it has to do with people who, and I've been there, who think, I'm not worth it. There's no way. I got to work. I got to do this. I don't want to do this, but I've got to if I'm going to make it to heaven, and God's got to be pleased with me. I know He's upset with me and all. And I have been there, and you may be now. You may say, I am so tired. I don't want to do anything. I feel bad. God hates me and all. And I was reading this right here. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. It says, some people try to purchase salvation through good deeds and charitable donations. Both of these are good services. We need to do that. But they're not what's required for God's forgiveness. Some of us struggle to accept the fact that salvation is a gift. They want to do something to earn it. The problem is no one can afford it. I cannot afford it. The price of salvation is perfection, and Jesus is the only one who could pay that price.
Amen.
And He's done it. Accept it. And as Cindy and I have mentioned before, it's got to break His heart, God's heart, when we're out there struggling. I've got to make sure I'm good enough to go to heaven and all. And He said, my son did it. He did it for you. Please, that's not your struggle right now, is not to get to heaven. Your struggle is to attempt to be Christ-like and to realize, let me guide you along the way. The Spirit's in you, and I can definitely, I'm the only one that can help you get there. And he wants to do all that for our good. The more praise we give him, the more maybe people will see that, wow, there must be something to this. There is nothing good, I believe this from me, that can come from me that's lasting in any way at all without God's help, without his blessing. Oh my goodness, there's nothing that will last beyond me. And I don't really care what lasts beyond me physically, but I would like to think the thoughts and that God has used me in his service, because he promised that he would in some way. Anyway.
And he keeps his promises, because it's just like going back to the Noah thing. After it was all over, he put a sign in the sky, that the rainbow that represented that I will never do this again.
And Cindy's got a great picture of that rainbow.
I've got the greatest picture of a rainbow. So every time we see that, and every time God sees that, he's reminded, I'm never going to destroy. Probably he's probably come close to wanting to, because of the way we act. But that he promised he wouldn't do it, and he keeps his promises. So thank you, God, for that. And listen, it's a beautiful day.
Beautiful.
We're thankful to God for our listeners, because we love you, listeners. Right. And
Don Hampton tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Please tune in, and by all means, catch us on the archives, and on YouTube. We are
and
there.
Facebook us. Okay, we will see you tomorrow, and God loves you.
On the radio, 10 to 11 a.m. Well, it's Mark and Cindy, they've got a morning show. Every day I listen in. We're gonna talk about what's going on in town. You never know who's gonna.
Hey everyone, this is Tina, your host from Retro Saturdays. I wanted to invite you to visit the Lone Star Studios here in downtown Conroe, Texas. We're all volunteers here, and we need your help in serving the Montgomery County area. Radio media is a fun field to be in. Lone Star Internet Radio serves Montgomery County with news, current events, local programming, and of course, music. If you are interested in volunteering and sharing your talents in media, go to irlonestar.com and let us hear from you. Lone Star Internet Radio, serving Montgomery County from the heart of downtown Conroe.